This is an interactive video lesson that will help you to improve the skill of applying critical thinking and looking at business ideas from different perspectives in the CCs. Having this skill means that you are able to pause before acting, see ideas from different perspectives, define the real problem, test ideas and adjust them. To develop this skill, we invite you to watch a short video, learn how to apply critical thinking and look at business ideas from different perspectives in the CCs, and take a self-test exercise. Today, starting a business is not only about creativity or inspiration. In a competitive environment, especially in the cultural and creative sector, it also requires the ability to think clearly, ask the right questions, and make informed decisions. Creative businesses operate in conditions of uncertainty. Demand is unpredictable, clients' expectations are not always clear, and success is difficult to forecast. That is why relying only on intuition is not enough. Critical thinking helps you slow down and look at situations more carefully. It allows you to analyze problems, understand people's real needs, question assumptions, and choose solutions that actually work in practice. In this course, critical thinking is presented as a practical and accessible tool. You do not need a business background or special training. This approach is especially helpful if you are a woman who wants to start her own creative business and needs clarity, confidence, and structure. The goal of this course is to help you develop both knowledge and practical skills. You will learn how to recognize real problems faced by potential clients and how to make thoughtful, creative, and realistic business decisions. Step by step, you will strengthen your ability to think critically, evaluate ideas, and use creativity in a conscious way to build a sustainable business in the cultural and creative sector. When you start a creative business, you have many ideas. Some of them excite you, some scare you, and some feel urgent. Critical thinking is the skill that helps you pause before you act. It does not kill creativity. It protects it. In creative business, we work in uncertainty. We don't always know if people will buy, attend, or care. That's why quick emotional decisions can be risky. Critical thinking helps you slow down and ask, what is really happening here? What do I know for sure? And what am I just assuming? Instead of reacting from fear or excitement, you learn to look at the situation calmly. You see different options. You understand limits. And you choose actions that fit your reality. This does not mean overthinking. It means making decisions that are conscious, realistic, and grounded. Critical thinking helps you avoid common traps, starting too big, copying others without reflection, or fixing symptoms instead of real problems. The key idea here is simple: critical thinking helps you make better decisions, even when nothing is fully clear. Many creative entrepreneurs rush to solutions. They say, I need a new product. I need more marketing. I need to work harder. But often, the real problem is something else. Critical thinking starts before the solution. It starts with understanding people. You ask, who is this for? What is this person really struggling with? What do they need, emotionally and practically? This is where empathy comes in. Empathy means trying to see the situation through someone else's eyes. You don't guess. You observe. You listen. You notice how people behave, not only what they say. Critical thinking also means asking honest questions. Am I solving the right problem? Or just the easiest one? Do I have evidence, or only assumptions? From there, you explore options. You think of different solutions, not just one. You compare them. And you choose the most realistic one for your time, energy, and resources. Then you test. Small steps. Small experiments. And you learn from what happens. When you understand the real problem and real people, your solutions become clearer, calmer, and much more effective. Many beginners make the same mistake. They start with solutions too fast. They say, I will create a product. I will launch a course. I will open a studio. I will start selling online. But if the real problem is not clear, even a beautiful idea may fail. That is why here we slow down. We learn to look at problems through people's eyes, not only through our ideas. Everything starts with people. To define a real problem, we start with people. Not with what we want to create, but with how people actually live, feel, and decide. This is called empathy. Empathy means trying to understand another person's situation. It means asking yourself simple questions. What is difficult for her right now? What frustrates her? What does she really need in everyday life? Empathy is not guessing. It is paying attention. You listen. You observe. You notice patterns in behavior. This helps you see problems that people may not say directly. Why looking at behavior matters? People do not always act the way they explain things. They may say one thing, but do another. That is why behavior is so important. When you watch how people choose, delay, complain, or avoid something, you begin to see real problems, real needs, real preferences. This is the best starting point for a creative business idea. You don't need complex research. Very often, simple actions are enough: talking to people, asking open questions, watching how they use products or services, listening to stories from real life. Numbers can be useful, but stories and behavior give deeper understanding. Good decisions come from combining both. A helpful way to organize what you learn is to create a simple picture of your customer. Ask yourself, what does she say? What does she do? What worries her? What does she hope for? Very often, you will see contradictions. For example, people may say they want something, but feel afraid to act. These contradictions are very valuable. They show where the real problem is. Every strong solution does two things: it reduces pain, and it supports gain. Pain means fears, doubts, frustrations, obstacles. Gain means hopes, desires, values, and what success looks like for this person. When you understand both, your idea becomes more useful and more realistic. In creative business, defining the right problem is more important than finding a quick solution. When you combine empathy with critical thinking, you stop guessing. You stop copying others, and you start creating solutions that truly matter to real people. And this is where strong creative businesses begin. So, now that we understand people better, the next step is turning insights into ideas. But before we generate ideas, we need one thing: a clear problem. If the problem is unclear, ideas will be weak. If the problem is wrong, even a brilliant idea can fail. That is why we first stop and focus. After you collect information about people, what they say, do, and feel, you organize it. You look for patterns. What repeats? What causes frustration? What really hurts? This step is called focusing. You don't add new information. You make sense of what you already have. Then you create a clear problem statement, also called a point of view. It connects a real person, a real need, and a real reason. For example, not people need creativity, but a busy woman needs short creative sessions because she feels guilty spending time on herself. This kind of problem gives direction. Once the problem is clear, we move to idea generation. Here is the key mindset: idea generation is not about finding one perfect idea. It is about creating many options. At this stage, there is no right or wrong. Judgment comes later. To generate strong ideas, we use methods. Why? Because methods help you avoid the first obvious solution. Simple methods work best: silent brainstorming first, then sharing ideas, then building on them. And one important rule: do not judge ideas while generating them. Judging too early kills creativity. After you have many ideas, you select. Selection is also critical thinking. You ask simple questions. Does this idea solve the real problem? Can we test it with our resources? Does it fit our values and brand? Then you don't build everything at once. You prototype and test. A small version. A pilot. An experiment. Because in creative business, you don't need perfection. You need feedback. The main message is simple: clear problems create strong ideas. Many ideas create better choices. Small tests save time, money, and energy. And this helps you avoid the biggest risk in creative business, creating something beautiful that nobody needs. Now we move to the next important step in building a creative studio: prototyping. In creative work, ideas often start very personally. A feeling, a message, a style, a vision. Because of this, many creatives wait too long. They think, it's not ready yet. It's not perfect. I'm not ready to show it. But in creative business, prototyping is not about perfection. It is about testing the direction. A prototype is a simple, early version of your idea. It can be a sketch, a sample, a rehearsal, a short workshop, a teaser performance, or a demo. The goal is not to judge your talent. The goal is to see how your idea works with real people. This is especially important in cultural and creative sectors. People cannot understand creative work in advance. They need to see it, feel it, or experience it. Prototyping helps you do several important things. First, it makes the idea clearer for you. Many ideas become clear only when you start making them. Second, it helps you explain your idea to others, to audiences, clients, partners, curators, or funders. Third, it creates dialogue. Instead of asking, "Do you like my idea?" you can ask, "How does this feel? What does this mean to you? What would you change?" Fourth, prototyping reduces risk. It is much safer to test a small version than to spend months on a full project that doesn't connect. And finally, prototyping lets you explore different directions. You can try several formats or styles before choosing one. In creative studios, prototyping is always a loop: create, show, listen, adjust. At the beginning, prototypes should be simple and low cost. Later, they can become more refined. Most creative projects grow in stages: a small pilot, a clear core version, a full project. Almost anything can be prototyped: objects, digital content, services, events, or experiences. You don't need expensive tools. Paper, simple materials, or basic digital tools are enough. Just remember 3 principles: don't overinvest too early, expect feedback and change, and always think about the audience, not only the artwork. Prototyping does not limit creativity. It protects it. Thus, show your idea early, test it carefully, and let it grow step by step through real experience. Now let's talk about testing, the step that protects creative founders from wasting time, money, and energy. In creative studios, it is very easy to fall in love with an idea. You can spend weeks perfecting a workshop, a service, a product, or an online course, and then suddenly discover that people don't really want it, don't fully understand it, or are not ready to pay for it. Testing helps you avoid this situation. Here is the most important mindset. You are not testing to prove that your idea is right. You are testing to learn where it is wrong, early, cheaply, and safely. This is critical thinking in real life. Testing works best when an idea becomes a small project, not just a dream in your head. A project has a clear goal, a short timeline, and clear limits. These limits are not a problem. They actually protect you. They stop endless planning and help you move into action. For a creative business, this can be very simple. You might decide to run one pilot workshop in 2 weeks, test a small version of your service with a few clients, or release a limited product batch. This is how ideas move from imagination into reality. Testing means showing your prototype to real people and watching what actually happens. Not asking only what do you think, but observing whether people understand it, use it, choose it, pay for it, or come back. Real behavior always tells you more than opinions. You can test in many simple ways. You can show a draft or sample and observe reactions. You can ask people to book a session, choose an option, or pay a small deposit. You can run a short trial experience, a pop-up, or a private pilot. You can let someone use your product or service once and see how it fits into their life. While testing, remember one important rule: build with confidence, but test with humility. Feedback is not a judgment of your talent. It is information. After testing, you always need to decide what happens next. Usually, there are only 3 paths. You improve the idea with small changes. You pivot by changing the idea or the audience. Or you stop and free your energy for something better. Stopping is not failure. The real risk is continuing something that clearly does not work. A simple way to decide is to ask yourself 3 questions. Can I realistically deliver this with my time, money, and energy? Do real people actually want it? And does it feel meaningful and clearly mine? If the answer is no, then the idea needs to change or be released. Testing is not the end of creativity. Testing is how creative studios learn fast, reduce risk, and build something that people truly value. Creative businesses become sustainable not by guessing, but by learning from reality.
Now we invite you to the quiz section, where you can test your knowledge by answering the following questions. Tick the correct answer. Regardless of whether you chose correctly or incorrectly, you will be given an explanation for the answer. Let's begin. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for participating. Follow the program in eStudio to deepen your key skills for entrepreneurship in the cultural and creative sectors. Upon successful completion of the course, you will receive the digital badge Success in CCS, I Can Do It.